Good morning, Revealing Truth Ministries. How y'all doing this morning? Hey, did you know that it's the Deeper Dive? We got the livest live crew in all of Tampa Bay. Get busy on it back there. I need y'all to understand something. When we come to the Deeper Dive, it's about attending to the Word, because when we attend to the Word, what are we? Most blessed. Man, I'm here again. Second day of our Vision Week on the Deeper Dive. And you know I'm not by myself. I ain't come alone. It's not just the audience. You know who else we got? We got, once again, the man from the other side of the bay. Oh, yeah. The hostess with the mostest.
There it is.
That would be Mr. St. Pete. Pastor Lamar is in the building. But hold on. He is not by himself. On Tuesday, we had Pastor Devil. But on Thursday, we done went to the back room. Done went and pulled out one of them people that make sure that this thing don't never stop moving. Okay. We talking about servanthood on 10. The audience was out there. They was ready to direct. We talking about been here since he was a little boy. We talking about growed up round here. You know what I'm saying? We talking about somebody in the back said grewed up over here. We talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Javon Thompson, JT, Rantover in the building. Let's go. It's Deeper Dive Thursday. Gentlemen, are you ready to get into this thing?
We are. Let's go.
Now, I'm going to ask y'all, like, y'all on the hype level that I'm on right now.
Probably not.
Not there.
Listen, the Deeper Dive is just our opportunity to take some time to get into the things that took place over the course of our past week. And this past week, if you didn't remember, was our Vision Weekend week. It has been absolutely phenomenal what took place. God has been doing some amazing things with us. And we started out on Tuesday talking about what took place on Friday, which was where we just really walked through aspects of the vision. Then we moved into Saturday talking about how Minister E, Pastor E, Colonel E, General E, we talked about how he dropped just a phenomenal boot camp on us, bringing us back to the place of remembrance, yes?
Yep.
why we do what we do. Not only was it a reminder through his teaching, but it was a reminder that he is a integral part of how this ministry stays active in what God has called us to do. With two men who serve, I know you understand that thoroughly.
Yes.
But today we move into what took place on Sunday, which was Pastor Ezel teaching us a message, and then what took place on Monday, which was his wife, Mrs. Ezel, or Pastor Wante, praying us into our fast, quite frankly.
That's good.
And so here we are, gentlemen, both of you carrying different responsibilities in what you do. JT, he's nervous, y'all. I'm telling you, he's a little nervous because, you know, when you're on the other camera, you know, everything is good, right? You make sure it's popping. Don't nobody see you work. But every time you see us, just know JT is working, right? He heads up one of, I don't know what the title of the department is, but you can tell us in a minute. But what JT does make sure we're able to see what takes place on those streams and in all of that post work that you get to see. And so,
Yeah, there are probably some nerves on that side of the camera also.
oh no, ain't no nerves. That man good.
Ah.
See that's what when that skill meets that faithfulness.
Ah.
You see what I mean? JT show up ready.
Yeah.
He show up ready. He know what he doing. That man ain't nervous about that part. I guarantee he ain't nervous about that part because his preparation has. How do I say it? When preparation meets opportunity.
That's right. Success is inevitable.
And
now
so
we're here, and spur of the moment.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Nah.
But JT, tell us, man. On Sunday, I know it was busy, so you probably got back to it. But you lead a group of people, and those people are usually very focused during a service. What are some of the things that will help you with your leading them on the other side of what this weekend has meant?
So I think this weekend honestly has been a reminder of the legacy Revealing Truth has. As a product of someone that's been here from, I think I was like 3 years old, right? And I'm about to turn 30 like in a couple weeks. So like, it's
Lifetime.
Yeah, it's a lifetime, right? I've literally grown up here, and what my parents did for the ministry in terms of serving, I got to see that firsthand. My dad was a technician, served with Pastor Gregory, and then my mom was in the choir. So if anybody knows what that means, at that time, that means you're at the church a lot.
All the time.
All the time.
Well, your mom worked for the church for a period of time.
And then my mom worked for the church.
Right?
Yep, as a kindergarten teacher and assistant director, and so I've seen what servanthood has done in terms of our family. But then it was time for me to experience for myself. I think as a child, you grow up and you know God and you know everything, but there comes a point where it's like, okay, I have to have this relationship for myself, right? And what I noticed from when I used to serve in the Corps, serving brings about opportunities, right? It opens up doors. Like you serve, you give your heart to God, it opens up doors. And it was a continual thing. Like I ain't have a dime in my pocket, but I served and doors was being opened, right? And this weekend was just a reminder on the importance of just serving the vision and what God has brought to Revealing Truth, and just Minister Ezel just put it in us. Like, this is important. Like, servanthood is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It's the deal.
It is the deal, right? And it's just so that those opportunities can happen. And for my team, I just encourage them to serve with all you have. Serve with all you have. If what all you have is just a day out of the week, just serve with that day to the max that you can, right? Serve with all you have. Submit to the vision and serve with all you have. That's what we do.
See, one of the things that's so cool about that part of what we do in ministry, when it goes wrong, everybody knows. But when it goes right, nobody says anything. And we're okay with that, just so you know.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're not looking for people to come back and say, hey, good job. we good. We know how to do that amongst ourselves. We understand the value of our work is not the pat on the back, but it's to see what took place actually take place. But it is a challenge, I think, sometimes for some of those people who aren't aware that that's a part of it, right?
Yeah.
When they first come in, you know, you get hit. It may not be by the leaders of the church when it goes wrong, but it absolutely comes. Look, we see the comments too. We know the comment section sounds like we hear you. We can't hear. I can't see. Where did they go? Listen, I tell the technicians over the years, I said, you do realize we all heard and saw this at the exact same time.
Yep.
Right.
I did not have like forethought. There was no what do they call it, the 8 ball. We're not able to go in the morning. Listen, problems gonna happen at 16 minutes in. Be prepared. Right? It doesn't happen that way. We all caught it at the same time. But the only difference is we know how to fix it.
Right.
And we are actively in the process of fixing it. I can promise you that.
Yes.
And so I love the fact that, you know, this allows you that space to help encourage your people to continue the work that many won't see or understand, but is extremely valuable
Right.
to the thousands of people literally that take part in our messages that go out over the internet. I mean, you do work that happens in the sanctuary as well, but specifically for me, online pastor and all, it's a big deal that you do the work that you do, and it is appreciated, sir. Now, Pastor Lamar, I thought it was cool. St. Pete campus, along with Wesley Chapel campus, did not have service in you all's normal locations this weekend. You came over to Tampa to be a part of what was taking place. Now, I have an idea of the value that adds to your congregation, but I'd like for you to speak to what does that feel like when you're able to bring your entire congregation into an opportunity like this?
Yeah. So I know, like you said, you have an idea of what that feels like. I'm gonna tell you my first thought about being here on that particular Sunday. Yeah. That Saturday was my wife and I's anniversary.
Nice. Congratulations. No, you got to drop. Which anniversary was it?
11.
11 years. Yes.
So then being able to have the congregation here and being able to sit in the pew was added
added
perfect,
benefit.
right? It just fit right into the weekend.
Man.
But it's first priority is having folks in St. Pete who connect to the ministry in St. Pete. You know, you can tell them that we are an expanded campus and we're a part of we're a large ministry, and you can tell them these things, but then having them come over and see it for themselves, or even if it's through stream or here in the building, and allowing them to see what they're a part of is always like, we want to have that happen as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So that's a plus. And then being able to, as an expanded campus, you're communicating the values and the vision where we are located.
Correct.
But then having those things confirmed and further supported when we come here is also an addition to our roles as leaders. It's like, okay, not only did you hear me say these things, but we went somewhere else, and you heard someone else say the same thing.
Isn't it interesting the way that, what is it they say, like you can, as parents, you tell your children, tell your children, and then somebody else come in and say the exact same thing you said, and all of a sudden the light bulb goes off.
Yeah. And I hats off to the folks we get to serve within St. Pete. I think, there's not a week go by when someone assures me, we hear you, Pastor Lamar, we're listening to you, we hear you, we got you. And so then moments like this weekend just is further confirmation that, okay, this is what God is doing, this is what God is saying. And I've shared before that, as a leader, I feel that it's my responsibility to do all that I can so people have the room and opportunity to do the thing that God is in their heart to do.
Yes, sir.
And so being able to have the members in meetings like that, and further getting stirred up with the things that God has put in our heart to do, it just adds to our purpose, right?
That's awesome. You know, one of the things that you and I began speaking about was the fact that, you know, we can have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to ministry, and specifically ministries like Revealing Truth, our goal is to be led by the Holy Spirit in everything that we do. And while we have a plan and something that we'd like to accomplish in a certain way, it is the people that God sends that directs how we go about everything that we do. My father told me when I first, the first opportunity I had to lead a department, one of the first things he talked to me about was the fact that we don't get to pick the people that come. We just get the opportunity to serve them. And so we're not there to dictate to them God's will, so to say, but help them understand how what God has spoken to them fits. And so I know you just spoke to it, or you spoke to it during Vision Night, that you all are approaching how long in St. Pete now?
Well, we relaunched.
Well, this relaunch.
Yeah, we relaunched April 2022.
Yes. So here we are about to walk into year 2. And let's give it up. Let's give it up.
So year 1.
Well, you'll be completing year 1, but walking into year 2.
Yep.
And here it is. The St. Pete campus is one of our oldest extended campuses. It was the second campus that we started away from Revealing Truth. The first was in Plant City. And so this is the second campus away from, not Plant City, it was Brooksville. It was Brooksville. Maybe it was the third. I feel like we went to St. Plant City between you and
Bradenton. We've been a lot.
We were all over. Look, I had a little truck where I would drive all over. Brandon campus. But anyhow, the point is, St. Petersburg to date is the oldest standing extended campus. And through the pandemic and all the things that took place there, we ended up closing those doors because we were meeting in a school, and schools weren't meeting. Their doors weren't open. And with this relaunch, I know things have changed. People have changed. Plans have had to change. Through a weekend like this, how does it help? My question is, does it reset a plumb line, or does it allow you to expand more so into the things that God is currently saying? Like, do you feel limited by what has taken place, or can you feel that expansion for what has taken place?
Absolutely. And the word that I use is confirmation. It just confirmed. This weekend put added confirmation on the track that we've been on probably since if we went and listened to some messages from way back in 2005 when we started the St. Pete campus, we would hear some of the same things, right? The vision hasn't changed. The way we even go about doing it hasn't changed. I remember the assignment way back then was to give individuals who believe that they are called opportunity to do the thing that they are called to do. That's what it's been. And so to JT's point, having Pastor Ezel here, who's been with the ministry for a long time friend, it just confirms the legacy of the work that we've been assigned to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, JT, I think it's pretty cool that that we had our Sunday service, which was more or less a standard-ish service, not standard by any means, it's not a demeaning statement, but from a technical side, we did the stuff that we normally do. But then we had Monday night. And I want you to take a moment and help the people on the other side of this thing get an idea of what it's like for those who serve in this capacity to have that type of moment take place and have a responsibility to make sure that those who are viewing online and those who are in the space get what they need, but also those who are serving don't leave without getting what they need. If you don't mind, let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, and I'm gonna take this from one of the guys that I definitely look up to in terms of just in the tech world, and one of the Transformation's video director. Like his slogan or word, whatever you want to call it, motto is worship first, capture second. Like that's his biggest thing. And as I talk to our tech team, I always remind them, say, you are worshiping as you do your skill. Like that is a form of worship. Don't take it for granted that like God has given you this gift to be able to learn this skill.
Right.
This is your worship to him. So in those moments, if you got to take a moment, take a moment. Everything will be okay. I promise you. The internet, unless the internet just crashes down, I mean, that's a whole nother situation,
Whole
okay?
nother operation.
You know, whole nother operation.
Been there, done
but right. But you take that moment for yourself. Don't be afraid. If you, hey, just let me know. Give me a heads up. Hey, JT, look, I got to step off. Cool, step off. Get what you need to get, because this is your service too.
Right.
Like you, just because you're serving doesn't mean you can't get what God has given to this service and what the importance and the essence of everything that you need to get. Like that is, it's not secondary. That's still first. The Holy Spirit has equipped you to do both, to receive and to operate.
Man, speak that speak. You know what I mean? And I love it because that was, I would say the name of the book, but over time I guess it's become controversial, but I got what I needed out of it. Anyway, there was a book written years and years and years ago that helped me understand that, because I was an audio technician.
Yeah.
And at the time, and it seems like forever in time, there's never quite enough, right? People that are in that space. So you kind of serve every service. And if you're not careful, it can feel like you're not getting out of that service what you need. And I learned during that time how to worship where I stood.
Yes.
You know, yes, I'm still make sure that this is done what it's doing, but I'm here and I'm getting it. Yeah. So I think that's awesome that you're still able to help them, so that they're not missing out on what it is God's doing. Because to that point, we have Revealing Truth Ministries is the type of ministry that looks into what your future should be. You know, we're as pastors, as the leaders of this ministry, we're going, God, how do you want to feed this set of people? Understanding that the Holy Spirit knows what's today, tomorrow, yesterday, knows all of it.
Right.
God says he's Alpha and Omega. And the beautiful part of it is he is only asking us to be obedient in the moment, right? And so to have a time in prayer like Monday night, to me, I think just adds such a great layer of comfort and that value to you, to all of us, really. And so, you know, Pastor Lamar, I know your people were out also on Monday night.
Yeah.
And able to feed on what that was. I know you got some prayer warriors in your church. How does times like this affect how you all even conduct? Because, you know, the beautiful thing about where we, you know, here in Tampa campus is this is our building. We can come and go as we please. To a certain extent, right? We got to get permission, but we can come and go as we please. You all operate out of a building that's not yours. How do you all translate what happens on a weekend service and allow it to give value throughout the week?
Man, that's a beautiful, beautiful question, right? First, I want to say that our core team is Revealing Truth Ministries through and through.
Yes,
they probably have Revealing Truth Ministries T-shirts under their work clothes.
Yes, sir.
Socks.
Ready, set, go.
Undergarments, all of it, right?
Yes, sir.
All the way. They're all the way
So,
in.
by the way, we have an apparel line. If you'll go ahead and go to the right site and look that up. But go ahead, sir.
They're Revealing Truth Ministries through and through. And I love the question because it's a nod to a statement that Pastor Brian made during the weekend, that you know, it's not the most important thing in our eyes as the leaders. Is not the building. It's not about the building. It's not about the facility. but it's about how the people are built.
Yes.
And so our people are built in a way that we do Revealing Truth. We do ministry everywhere we go.
Yes, sir.
Right? They open the building. We open the building in St. Pete, and boom, Revealing Truth is there. This is how we do what we do. If you come into our presence, we're going to do what we do wherever we go. And the facility that we're in down in South St. Pete is actually a part of a shopping plaza. Yeah. And so on Saturdays and Sundays, the folks who are regulars in that shopping plaza know it's Revealing Truth ministry time.
Yes,
like,
sir.
They may not know the name fully yet, but
It's
they know
church
it's
time.
church time. And we are intentional about making our presence felt, making his presence felt. Yeah. While we're there, everywhere we go, from the Dollar General to the laundromat to the corner store and back to the building that we have our services, is what we do. So, Monday, man, if I were to do, talk about percentages, I would say, man, almost maybe over 50% of our core team is actually in the intercessory prayer department.
Yes, sir.
So literally, some praying people.
Yeah.
And but again, I think all of us, we are people who have relationships with God. We go to moments like we had this weekend, and we're all looking for confirmation.
Correct.
I don't think that there probably aren't many who heard anything new, so to speak. Yeah. Maybe something said a new way.
Yeah.
But I believe that all who were in tune walked away with a confirmation of things that God has already been saying, further clarity on what God has already been saying to do. A lot of the feedback that I got was from that perspective. Like, man, God, the thing that I told you God been telling me to do, I got more detail on that thing, and I'm taking a step further in doing that. So that's exciting. That excites me.
You make a very valuable point, and it'll probably be the point that we close out on today. Pastor Brian said something it's a couple of years ago now. He said his job is to connect and confirm. Mm-hmm. As leaders, connect and confirm. Yeah. Connect and confirm. Mm-hmm. And I feel like this weekend was an opportunity to, in some ways, reconnect some of those very valuable points of who and why this ministry exists. Mm-hmm. But then, to your point, it should have been a constant confirmation. Yeah. Why did I come here? Confirm. Right. Yeah. Why do I serve here? Confirm. Mm-hmm. Why is God continuing to give me things related to this ministry? Confirm. Mm-hmm. And he said, if you find yourself not feeling confirmed or not feeling connected, man, you might want to go pull on somebody that you're in community with, and remind them, help them see what God said. Because the beautiful thing about Revealing Truth Ministries, there hasn't been a single person that I can remember that showed up here that didn't say God's brought them. That showed up here and they didn't say God has spoken to me. What I love about JT being here is, he started at 3 years old. He had no choice. His parents were doing their work. But as he became an adult, has a family of his own, it became his choice to do the exact same thing. Yeah. He had to hear from God. He had to know this is what God was telling me. And I'm not just here because mom and dad showed up, but I'm here because God brought me. What y'all don't know, may not know, is when JT said he was no money in his pocket, the thing about it is JT was showing up here as if he worked here. JT was actually showing up here better than employees at one point. It was like, come on, bro. Are you on? Like, he don't get a check from us? Because it surely seems like he worked the way you would want an employee to work. And so he is definitely a model of what Revealing Truth Ministry should look like. Pastor Lamar is, of course, always the man. He'll be back in this seat next week, which next week's deeper dive is going to be, who knows, amazing. It's going to be fun. It's going to be all kind of fun. And this weekend, no, because this weekend, Pastor Brian let it know.
Minister Carol.
Minister
That's
Carol.
Right.
Minister Carol.
So Minister Carol will be here on Sunday. Look, all I'm saying is show up and be ready.
Yeah.
One of the things that Pastor Ezel did with us this weekend was bring a reminder that this ministry was never built on one voice, but God used a family of people to help us remember who we are, to operate the way God said, and to accomplish His will for this ministry. Right? And so this weekend will be the exact same thing. Please show up, ready to receive. I love the fact that 7 years ago, God will meet you at your place of expectation. So if you ratchet your expectation up, God's there. And then He not only will meet you there, but He will be exceedingly abundantly above all that you can ask, think, or imagine. Look, guys, this has been another Deeper Dive.
Yeah.
I believe we attended to the word.
Oh, yeah.
As a result, we are what?
Most. Yes.
It is time for us to get up out of here. We love you. We will see you soon. Deuces.